So we want to ask you, what gets you motivated? What gets you ready for a new week? And what are some of the challenges that you might be facing in your everyday lives that you'd like to overcome? Well, we got all that and a whole lot more on today's show. I want to bring in our first guest. She's an author. She's a speaker. She has a book right here, How to Defuse the Landmines We Plant in Our Own Lives. Kelly Accetta joins us back on the show. Of course, I had some feedback from yesterday's show.
Awesome.
You made a little appearance on at the very end of it, which was nice. Let's first talk about your background. How did you get to become a life coach, a trainer, and a motivational speaker?
Well, it all started, I guess, in my early 20s, and I started in sales and marketing, and throughout the years I got better and better, and I was managing a team of people, and I noticed that women would trip themselves up with things that the guys on the teams that I was managing just didn't do. Women held on to grudges. You know, the guys can disagree with something and be screaming at each other in a boardroom, and the next day they go to lunch together. Whereas women, we would hold on to that, and it affects the work culture every day. It affects the relationships. It also affects the decisions for the company if we can't get along and create harmony.
And so, what are some of these things? What is it that? Why can men overcome adversity or disagreements and women can't?
You know what? I would love I would love to study men, but all I know is women, because I am one.
I just wonder what that is, though.
I had to get rid of this all myself. The only reason I could write the book is I had to get rid of the gossip landmine. I had to get rid of the comparison landmine. I had to get rid of the mommy guilt landmine. You know, there's 12 different landmines in here. Bitterness and unforgiveness. I had to uproot and get rid of all of that because it was causing destruction in my life. And, you know, I wish, you know, everyone could just understand how to protect their joy. Because when we wake up in the morning, we are full of joy, and then we start in on thinking about our problems. We think about all the, you know, the argument we had with our boss the day before, and all we do is chisel away at our joy.
And we don't look to all the great things we have in our life. So walk me through this mommy guilt you talked about. And I just saw something in the news a couple days ago about this as well.
It's a very real thing. As a matter of fact, I was just sitting down with a girlfriend of mine, and her husband happened to be there. And we were talking about something, and I said, you know, like the landmine mommy guilt. And he asked me what that is. And it was shocking. When women walk through their house. See, a guy can walk through the house and there's dishes in the sink and there's trash overflowing from and it really doesn't, you know, they might notice it, but it really doesn't like affect them. When a woman walks through the house, if there's dishes and all that, the dishes are screaming at us. The laundry is screaming at us. The trash is screaming at us. So men, when we ask you to do something over and over and over again, it's because we just want the screaming to end.
And I think that's very important to mention, because if you were to look at relationships and some of the problems in relationships at home, it's not that they don't get along and they don't love each other. It's those little things that he's not doing that.
Right. And we just want the screaming to stop. You know, we pour into our homes, we pour into our spouses, we pour into our families and our jobs. And the thing with mommy guilt, it's really, really crucial for any of you watching, is you've got to take time to pour back into yourself.
So how do you do that, though? What, like, find like a hobby or something that an interest that you have? I mean, how do you do that?
That's a great way. I started back to dancing, and I was a dancer my whole young life, and I started taking a hip-hop dance class, I guess about 10, 12 years ago.
Okay.
And I was horrible. I hadn't danced in 20 years. But now, fast forward, it's something that I don't move that in my week. My whole family knew, don't ask me to do anything Wednesday night. That's for me. And now I'm on the competitive hip-hop dance team with a whole bunch of other moms, and it's just a wonderful way to burn off stress. They just did a study that said women are happier and healthier if we get together with our girlfriends at least twice a week.
There you go, at least twice a week.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about in an office setting. You've got cubicles, you've got tight spaces, everyone can kind of hear everyone's problems. Does that interrupt the flow of trying to stay positive being a female at work?
Absolutely. And, you know, gossip is just something when, you know, we get bored, or kind of like fast food, you know, and if we're bored or whatever, we just kind of grab fast food. How do we feel after that? That's how gossip is going to make us feel. You know, that's not a real relationship if we're just engaging in gossip. And the thing that people don't understand is it always gets back to the person you're talking to.
And you've spoken around the world. I don't know if we have video of this. You've spoken in massive amounts of crowds, and you've motivated women from their personal life to their business life. What does that feel like to you when people come after you after one of these speeches? What do they say to you? How does that make you feel?
Gosh, you know, so many women, and that's why I wrote the book, because so many women would come up to me afterwards with tears in their eyes, saying thank you, because nobody really understood what I was struggling with or what I was going through, and I didn't realize that so many of these things like comparison, that's a huge one, especially with social media right now. Comparison was causing their lack of joy and lack of passion in their life. So it feels great to be able to release women from the crap. That's really
the crap. I love you said garbage earlier and crap. It is garbage and crap. Take it out. How can people get this book?
My website, which is truth.coach, and or Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com.
Yeah, we're going to have her back on at the end of the show and perhaps answer any questions that you may have. Just submit them to us on Facebook, and we'll get to them. Hey, when we come back, we're talking about the United Way. Stick around on the Wednesday edition of Living Local Central Texas.